My parents forced me to babysit my sibling while they traveled the world for years, then called me ungrateful when I tried to move out for college and want me to sacrifice my dream college to keep babysitting. I'm 18M, and I've basically been raising my little sister, L, 8F, for as long as I can remember. Our parents are the type who think life is one long vacation. They're always on social media, posting about discovering themselves in Bali or hiking the Andes, like they're influencers. But the reality is, while they've been off living their best life, I've been stuck at home babysitting L for years. I mean, I get it. Elle's a good kid. I love her to death. But she's not my kid. I didn't sign up to be her full-time caretaker, you know? It started when I was 14. They went to Europe for 3 months, like it was no big deal. They left some lady to come check on us once a day, but I was the one who actually had to take care of Elle. At first I didn't mind. It was kinda cool, in a way, feeling like I was trusted. But as soon as they came back, they started planning their next trip, and before I knew it, it became the norm. They'd disappear for weeks, sometimes months at a time, and I'd be left at home playing mom and dad. It didn't take long for me to realize that this wasn't normal. But every time I brought it up, they'd brush me off. Oh, you're so responsible, we trust you. Or, you're getting great life experience. It'll look good for college. Like I should be grateful for being stuck at home while they gallivanted around the world. But what was I supposed to do? I was a kid. I didn't know any better. And I guess part of me thought, maybe this is just how it is. But deep down, I was counting down the days until I could move out and start my own life. I busted my ass in high school. Stayed up late studying, took all the AP classes I could handle, got a great SAT score, and it paid off. I got into my dream school, out of state, with a partial scholarship. For the first time in years, I felt like I had a future to look forward to, like I could finally get out of the house and live my life. But when I told my parents, they didn't react the way I expected. I was sitting at the kitchen table, excited to tell them the news, expecting maybe a congrats, or even just a nod of approval. Instead, my mom looked at my dad like I'd said something crazy. She was the first to speak. But what about Elle? I blinked. What about her? Well, my mom said, like it was obvious, who's going to take care of her if you go off to college? I stared at her, waiting for her to start laughing or tell me she was joking. But she wasn't. She was dead serious. You're not serious, I said, leaning back in my chair. You're her parents. Why would I be responsible for her when you're home? We've been planning a trip to South America, my dad said, like it was the most normal thing in the world. We thought you'd stay home and take care of her, at least for your first year of college. You can go to community college here and transfer later. I felt my heart drop into my stomach. You thought I'd stay home? After all the work I put into getting into my dream school? My mom sighed, already annoyed, like I was being difficult. You need to think about what's best for the family. Elle needs stability, and you're part of that. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. They were seriously asking me to put my future on hold, just like that, to keep babysitting? I stood up, trying to keep my voice steady. I'm not giving up my future to stay home and take care of Elle. I'm going to college, out of state, that's final. My dad put down the paper he was reading and looked at me, his voice colder than I'd ever heard it. You're being selfish. We've given you everything, and this is how you repay us? By abandoning your sister? After all we've done for you? I couldn't even speak. I felt like I'd just been punched in the gut. I turned and walked out of the room, slamming the door behind me. I went up to my room, trying to process everything, but all I could think was, they don't care about me. They only care about what I can do for them. The next few weeks were hell. They didn't bring it up again, but they made it clear that they expected me to cave. Every time I mentioned college, my mom would change the subject, or my dad would say something like, "We'll see what happens when the time comes." Like they were just waiting for me to drop it. But I wasn't going to drop it. I started planning my escape. I looked into student loans, applied for more scholarships, and lined up a part-time job near campus. I wasn't going to let them control my life any longer. Then, about a month before I was supposed to leave, my mom pulled a fast one. We were sitting at dinner, and out of nowhere she said, "We've decided to take Elle with us to South America. We'll homeschool her while we travel. I nearly choked on my food. What? You're taking her with you? She nodded like it was no big deal. Yes, we thought it'd be a great experience for her. I knew exactly what this was. It was their way of guilting me. They were trying to make it seem like I was the selfish one, leaving poor Elle behind. They thought if they dangled her in front of me, I'd feel bad and back out of my plans, but I wasn't falling for it. That's fine, I said, keeping my voice steady. You're her parents. You should take her. My mom looked taken aback, like she didn't expect me to agree so easily. You don't mind? Nope, do what you want. I could see the gears turning in her head. They were realizing that their plan wasn't working, but they didn't give up that easily. The next day, my dad sat me down for a talk. He said, look, if you stay here, we'll support you financially. You can go to community college, and we'll cover the costs. But if you go off to your dream school, well, you're on your own. It was a threat, plain and simple. They were holding my future hostage, expecting me to choose between my education and staying home to babysit. I crossed my arms and stared him down. So you're saying if I don't babysit, you're cutting me off? That's what you're doing? He had the nerve to shrug. We're asking you to think about the family. Elle needs you. Your mother and I can't just drop everything. I was shaking with anger. You've been dumping your responsibilities on me for years, and now you want me to give up my future because you don't want to be parents? That's not happening. I'm going to my dream school, whether you like it or not. His expression hardened. Fine, but don't expect us to bail you out when you fail. I won't, I shot back. I'm done relying on you. Things went downhill from there. For the next few weeks, they barely spoke to me, except for the passive-aggressive comments about how, we'll see how long you last on your own. My mom kept dropping hints about how hard it would be without their help. They were trying to wear me down, make me doubt myself. But I wasn't backing down. The night before I was supposed to leave for school, my mom came into my room holding an envelope. She handed it to me and said, "We've decided to use your college fund for Elle's homeschooling, since you won't be needing it." I felt like my head was going to explode. You're taking my college money? Are you serious? She didn't even flinch. It's only fair. You're making your choice and we're making ours. I stared at her, trying to find the right words, but all I could think was, you've got to be kidding me. I didn't say anything. I just grabbed my suitcase, walked past her, and left the house without looking back. That was 2 months ago. Now, I'm at school, living in a tiny apartment with 2 roommates, and working part-time at a coffee shop. It's tough. I'm barely scraping by, and some nights I lie in bed wondering if I made the right call. But then I remember what it was like being stuck in that house, being used as free childcare while my parents lived their fantasy lives. And I know that no matter how hard it gets, I'd rather struggle on my own terms than be trapped under their thumb. I still talk to Elle sometimes. We FaceTime, and she tells me about all the places they're going. She misses me, and it breaks my heart, but I'm doing what I have to do for both of us. I can't keep sacrificing myself to be their safety net. She's just a kid, and none of this is her fault, but I've got to live my own life now. The hardest part is when she asks when I'm coming home. Will you be here for Christmas? She asked last week. I didn't know what to say. They'll probably be in some other country by then. And even if I could afford a plane ticket, I'm not sure I'd want to see them. I'm still angry at them for using me, for making me feel like the bad guy, for taking my future without a second thought. So I told her I'd try. It felt like a lie, but what else could I say? The truth is, I'm still figuring things out. I'm not used to having my own life. It's like I've been on autopilot for years, just doing what they needed. And now that I'm free, it's almost overwhelming. School is tough. Work is exhausting, and some days I barely have enough energy to eat dinner before I crash into bed. But for the first time in my life, it feels like everything I'm doing is for me. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm broke most of the time, and when I see other students who have their parents' full support, financially and emotionally, it stings. A lot. But at least I don't have to deal with their guilt trips anymore. They thought they could control me forever, but I'm done with that. A few weeks after I left, I got a text from my dad. Just a short, passive-aggressive message saying how they expected me to apologize by now, and how disappointed they were that I didn't see things their way. It was like they were completely oblivious to everything they'd done. No mention of all the years they dumped Elle on me, no acknowledgement of how they manipulated me into giving up my childhood. Nothing, just another guilt trip, wrapped in fake concern. I didn't reply. I blocked both of them after that, except for one email in case something happened with Elle. I don't regret it. They took enough from me already. And yeah, sometimes I miss the idea of a family, but not them. Not how they were. I miss what they should have been. But you can't miss something that never really existed, right? I guess I've had to learn the hard way that just because someone is your parent doesn't mean they have your best interests at heart. Now I'm focused on my future. I've got midterms coming up, work's been crazy, and I've already started looking for internships for next summer. I'm building something for myself, slowly but surely. Every step I take away from that house, I feel more like myself, more like the person I'm supposed to be. It's funny, though. I know my parents still think I'll come crawling back. They've always believed they could break me, that I'd fold under the pressure and return home to help the family. But they don't know me as well as they think they do. I've survived this long without their support, and I'm not about to give in now. Sometimes I wonder if they even realize what they've done. If they ever look at themselves and think, maybe we messed up. But I doubt it. They've always been too wrapped up in their own world to care about anyone else. As long as their Instagram looks good, they're happy. But me, I'm doing fine. Better than fine, actually. For the first time, I'm in control of my life. I'm making my own decisions, living on my own terms. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And if they can't handle that, it's their problem, not mine. I still think about Elle a lot. She's growing up fast, and I hate that I'm not there for her as much as I used to be. But I'm not abandoning her. I'm just choosing me for once. I hope one day she'll understand that. So yeah, my parents can keep traveling the world, pretending like they're enlightened or whatever. But I'm done with them. I'm done sacrificing my life for their convenience. They've made it clear where their priorities lie, and now I'm making mine clear too. I'm out. And I'm not looking back. Anyway, if you're still reading this and dealing with entitled parents who think you owe them your life, don't. They'll take and take until there's nothing left. Fight for your own future. It's hard, but it's worth it. And hey, if you want to keep hearing more stories like this, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, we've got a lot more to talk about.